Howdy, art explorers! Today, our paper people are going on an adventure in Texas. We are going to the Alamo, and the Alamo is where the Texans fought for their independence from Mexico. We're going to be drawing some cowboys and cowgirls, and I hope you stick around so I can show you how to draw the Alamo and how to make a cute cowgirl outfit and a cowboy outfit.
All right, grab a pencil and paper and let's get started. The Alamo is pretty straightforward to draw because it has a lot of geometric shapes. First, draw an upside down U or an arch for the door, sort of in the bottom middle of your page. Then you're going to draw 4 skinny rectangles, 2 on each side of your arch. Once you've drawn those 4 rectangles, you're going to put a pediment, you're going to put a triangle above your arch. Of that triangle, you are going to add a rectangle. We're putting in some of the windows first before we add the outline of the building. Another arch centered above those 2 rectangles on either side of that original door shape. Now we're going to add some details by putting some skinny rectangles in the middle of those tall rectangles we first added, and then some more arch windows between those 2 skinny rectangles on either side. Next, add a long skinny rectangle above those tall rectangles. This is sort of that part above the door that you can see on that picture. Now we're going to draw a little bit of the outside of the building. Almost at the very top center of your page, draw a half circle. Then 2 horizontal lines on either side and 2 short vertical lines down from that. To sort of help us know how far to make our building, we're going to add those side windows. So I'm going to make 2 rectangles on either side and then a square under each of those rectangles. That's going to help us know how big to make that area. I'm putting in some more details under that long skinny rectangle. And now we're going to make curved lines that go almost to the edge of that long skinny line. I'm making a little bit of a stair step right there. And again, that's the iconic look of the Alamo, is that building's shape. I drew 2 lines on either side of the building, and then I'm going to go back and add the bottom of the building, and then in a little bit you'll see that I take a Sharpie and color it in. The building is made out of bricks. Instead of going in and putting in each individual brick, you'll see in a minute that what I do is give the idea of the bricks. I'm going to speed it up, take a look at how I finished it. Once my Alamo drawing was done, I turned my attention to my paper people. I took my original paper person and I drew around him once. I decided that cowgirls and cowboys wear very similar clothes, jeans and t-shirts and a bandana, and so I would have them wearing the same outfit. You'll see in a minute that the way I made my cowgirl different from my cowboy is that I gave my cowgirl some braids. So once I drew around my person, I drew around my head twice. You might only need to draw around once, or you could draw around your body a couple more times if you want to give your paper person some different clothes. I started my paper person by deciding where their waist would be, and I knew I wanted a big belt buckle. So I drew two horizontal lines and then a big circle for a belt buckle. I've got the basic shape of my body, but you can see I'm using a pencil first and sort of sketching. I wanted their arm to come down and end in a sleeve and a really simple hand, just a little oval for a hand. So you can see I'm giving myself a couple sketch lines. Then for the jeans, I just made sort of a V between my little paper person's leg. I made the shorts extended all the way down, and then for my boots, I used sort of a triangle shape and then added a heel, put two circles on there to remind me that I wanted some spurs on my boots. I wanted my jeans to look like they were tucked into my boots, so I just made a curved line for the top of my boots. Once I had my boots and my jeans kind of the way I wanted them, I went ahead and focused on my shirt. I wanted it to look like, again, my hand was tucked into a pocket, but maybe a thumb was hanging in my pocket and my hand was sticking out of it. I made sure to put a bandana on my cowgirl, and so I just made a V shape up there that then later I would fill in. One of the things I realized that I should have done when I started was added the tabs that were going to hold my outfit onto my paper person. So that's what I'm doing there. Once I was pretty happy with my initial sketches of my outfit, I turned my attention to my cowboy hat. I put a line above the ears of my paper person's head, and then I made sort of an M shape for a cowboy hat. You can see I'm giving it sides there and a little reminder of where I'm going to put a slit so that I can attach it to my person's head. I did a similar thing for my cowgirl. I put a line across her head. I made sort of a letter M for her cowgirl hat, and then I wanted to give her some hair. I wanted to make it look like she was working really hard and had some braids. So I used the shape of my paper person's head and went behind her head on one side to give her some hair that was tied in a little bit of a ribbon or a string. Later, when I colored it in, I made it look like she had braids. Let me show you how I finished it up. You'll notice when I started adding Sharpie that sometimes I didn't go exactly along my pencil line. I used those initial sketches to give me a guide, but sometimes I would change my mind. I'm going to show you how I finished it up and how I colored everything in. I sure had a lot of fun making my cowgirl and cowboy today and going to Texas in my imagination. I would love to see what you guys do. Bye.